as long as I train hard in the gym and I'm consistent, gains are gonna happen. But clearly you're not because you're still small. This mistake can cause you a lot of, and those are reasons why you're small. But here's the things I want you to follow in this exact order. So a lot of guys come and say, yo bro, I've been lifting for years. I've been lifting for 5, 10 years in the gym, a little bit on and off, but I see no progress, bro. Like my arms are still small, shoulders are still small, but tit is coming out now. So reaching out for help and, asking questions. But these are the most common things I see when someone's not making progress or not getting jacked whatsoever. Number one thing I notice, we have no progression in the gym. We're not tracking anything. We're constantly just guessing stuff, right? We go to the gym, we're like, oh, today I feel like hitting some chest, so I'm gonna get a pump. Oh, yo, today's Monday, International Chest Day in Brampton, so benches are taken, I'm gonna go squat today, right? We just keep changing our workouts every single day because we have no progression. We are not tracking anything, right? So number one mistake, please track your shit, okay? And then number two, it's chasing a feeling, right? We go into the gym, we're like, yo, I want to feel fried today, bro. One of the common things is once you do legs, you shouldn't be able to walk the next day or even drive home. And we chase that feeling of feeling fried or like feeling sore the next day, right? And a lot of people ask us, like, hey, bro, like, I'm not getting sore at my workouts anymore. Should we do more intensity? Or should I change my workouts up? Should I change my exercises up? But understanding soreness and feeling like you're going crazy in the gym is not a sign of progress, right? If you're constantly chasing this thing of like feeling fried, feeling like you're sore all the time, like this, you're doing too much volume, you're not recovering from it. Understand how a muscle grows. You put stimulus on it, and then you recover through sleep and diet, and then it grows because you do a little bit more after. But if you just fry every single time and you can't progress on it because you're chasing this intensity, you're not going to make any progress, right? So that's number two. Stop chasing this feeling of feeling fried. Number three, we're not pushing to failure, right? A lot of us go in the gym, we do the first rep, and then we do the last rep, and they look the same. And then you look the same because you're going to stay small forever, right? So again, don't make this mistake of like going to the gym. Maybe you're tracking workouts, maybe you're doing everything right. But if you're not pushing to that point where your muscle needs to adapt and grow, you're not going to grow, right? So please push yourself. And a couple of signs that you are pushing yourself is either your rep speed starts to slow down or your form technically starts to break down. So there are two main signs of failure. So please push to failure, progress long-term, and you might actually get jacked. And guys, number four, calorie intake, food choices, digestion, all that good stuff, all the boring stuff you don't want to pay attention to, right? A lot of us were like, yo, as long as I train hard in the gym and I'm consistent, gains are going to happen. But clearly you're not because you're still small, right? So understand, paying attention to your food choices, the fuel you give your body is going to make a massive difference in how jacked you get, right? So again, easy analogy, we want to look like Lamborghinis, right? So Lamborghini needs premium gas, where you're feeding yourself like a smart car. That's why you look the way you look, right? So there's nothing wrong, right? But if you want to change, if you want to get jacked, paying attention to the food choices, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, your meal timing, carbs around training, making sure your macronutrients suits your body type or your height, weight, all that good stuff is going to go a long way if you want to change the way you look. And then number five, sleep. I know a lot of us, we look at online and people are like, yo, grind for life. You don't need your sleep, sleep's for the weak. But let me tell you what happens when you don't sleep, right? And you just take pre-workout at 6 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. at night, just so you get a sick workout in. Now, you're not going to get quality sleep. Your deep sleep is not going to feel as good. You're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to be like, oh man, I'm mad tired, whatever. You're going to chug a couple more coffees, right? And that's going to be a cycle every single day. Then later on in the day, you're going to crash midway through the day. What's going to happen? You're going to be like, yo, let me grab some snacks because, I'm hungry. Well, all it is, your stress level's high because you don't have enough sleep in you. Then you go to the gym. You're like, oh man, I feel tired. Then 3 weeks later, that same cycle, you're like, oh, my elbow hurts, my shoulder hurts. All this because you just didn't sleep properly, bro. So I'm telling you, this mistake can cause you a lot of progress in the gym and also outside the gym because you're not going to feel energized. So telling you, sleep is going to be one of the major keys if you're not making any gains. So those are all the problems and those are reasons why you're small. The reasons we're not getting jacked, making progress in the gym, right? But here's the things I want you to follow in this exact order if you want to make the most out of your gym sessions and actually start making a change and start getting juicy, right? So number one, bro, have some sort of structure, man. I know a lot of us, bro, like I get bored of the same workouts. I want to change shit up constantly. But if you don't have a structure, like I'll show you here, a structured program is like an upper lower split in like the app, or you can use any app you want. You can use the Strong app if you want. You can go and Google upper lower, or message me, I'll give you a free upper lower split. Whatever, just have some sort of structure. So when you go in the gym, you're not guessing no more. You're not just chasing random numbers. You're not just chasing intensity. You're like, okay, this is my first exercise. This is my second. This is my third. And every week when you come in, you try to do better and better, right? So first step, please have some sort of structure. If you don't have a structure, you're not going to make any progress. Number two, guys, I want you to focus on progressive stimulus rather than progressive overload. We get caught up in constantly going to the gym and overloading every single session, and then we end up hitting a brick wall. We start getting, injuries, shoulders, elbows. So I want you to focus on progressive stimulus. What I mean by this is every time you go to your sessions, try to make sure your form is getting better. Your execution is getting better. Number two, your control is getting better. You're feeling the muscle a little bit better. Your mind-muscle connection is getting better. Once those two things are better, number three, what automatically happen is your range of motion. And when I talk about range of motion, say for example, you're squatting, right? Initially, your depth may not be as good, but over time, your depth may get better, which is also progression compared to the first week where your depth wasn't that good. Now you're getting more range, more muscle fibers are getting used, which is also progression. And you haven't added weight this whole time. Number four, now you can start tracking a little bit more of your reps and try to beat your reps week by week, right? Say for example, you're doing an exercise like a chest press, right? And you have a rep range of 8 to 12 for your first set. First week, you get 50 pounds for 8 reps. Next week, you get 50 pounds for 9 reps. Fourth week, you get 50 pounds for 12 reps. That's also progression, and we're still just doing 50 pounds. I haven't chased weights yet, right? Now, the last one is adding a little bit more load over time. Instead of constantly chasing load, chase all those things and slowly progress over time. Easy way you can structure this as well is like, see your accessory movements, right? That may be like tricep overhead extension, bicep curls. You're doing higher rep ranges, like 12 to 20. You can stay at the same weight for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe like heavy presses. You can maybe have like one top set where you're trying to increase your weight every 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? So number two, please have some sort of progression model in your training. This is going to lead to consistent progress. Number three, your nutrition, bro. Like I said, we want to look like Lamborghinis, so you got to get premium gas to yourself, right? So number one thing I want you to pay attention to is your food choices. What are you actually putting into your system? What are you eating? Majority of the diet should consist of whole foods. What's that rule? 80-20? I would say more 90-10. If 20% of your meals in a week are fried, you're probably going to look not that good. So please, take that 90-10 approach where 90% of the time, all whole foods. And when I talk about whole foods, less processed stuff, potatoes, chicken, eggs, meat, all the good stuff, right? Fruits, vegetables. Majority of your diet should consist of that. Less snacky, less cookies, right? Less rotiyan here and there. Roti are fine, but not too much, okay? So number one, food choices. Number two, how your digestion actually feels and looks like, right? In the morning, observe how your tortilla look like, how your shit looks like. Bowel movements are major key, right? If they're like constantly liquid or, you're constipated, your digestion is probably not the best. Or if you eat something and you feel bloated right away, like a lot of people feel like this maybe after dairy products, right? Take a note of that. Be mindful, right? Those could be maybe your trigger foods. And initially, instead of eliminating it, maybe lower the quantity of it, right? And if your bloating goes away, awesome. If it doesn't, maybe try eliminating, replacing, or upping your water intake. Maybe you're playing out with fiber, reaching out to a nutrition person. Play around with that. Because if you're not digesting things properly, you're not absorbing nutrients properly, right? So you're not going to get as jacked as you want, okay? So food choices, digestion. Number three, overall caloric intake, right? If your goal is to put on muscle, get jacked, you want to be at least in maintenance or in a slight surplus, right? At least on your training days. So make sure you have your full caloric intake in order. You can even break down your macros depending on, your lean body mass, all that stuff. Easy ratios you can use maybe. Initially, it's like, okay, 30% you can do carbs or protein. 40% you can do protein or carbs. And the rest you can do fats. Understand carbs are going to be most anabolic for gains. But again, depending on your body type, how much fat storage you have, you maybe need less carbs, more fats. Again, that's a little bit more specific. Number four, meal structure, meal timing can go a long way as well, right? So main two things I want you to get started with is a little bit more carbohydrates around your training. Pre-workout, post-workout, intra-workout, those should be the times you're having the most amount of carbs, least amount of fats, okay? So your body has some readily available carbs for the gym sessions, okay? Make that one change and then keep fats away from your training window. So if you're sitting all day, you're doing accounting all day, maybe you don't need as many carbs. You're not expending energy, so you don't need to intake as much energy. So maybe having a little more fats and protein around those meals and a little more carbs around your training, that could be a good meal structure for you initially. Okay, so please make those switches in your diet and you'll start to see performance in the gym start to improve. gains start to improve. You know, your girl's gonna be like, yo, your arms are looking pretty jacked and shit, right? You're gonna finally impress Preeti. It's just little digestion changes, and your washroom, your toilet's gonna thank you as well, okay? So number 4, please sleep, bro. I know this is redundant. People are like, yo, I sleep enough, bro. I get lots of sleep. But maybe your sleep isn't quality enough. Or you think you're sleeping a lot, but maybe in bed, you're, in there for 7 hours. Like say, for example, 11 to 6 is your sleep time. That's only 7 hours in bed. So likelihood is your sleep is only 6 hours. That's where tracking it sometimes helps. You don't want to get too bogged down in the numbers, but maybe getting a Fitbit or like an Aura ring, Garment, all these things can tell you how your sleep actually looks like. You don't want to go too deep into like REM deep, but you can if you're a numbers person, and it's not going to mess with you initially, right? So having some sort of tracking will go a long way in telling you how much you're actually sleeping. But these are a couple of things that help me personally sleep better. Number 1, no TikTok, no watching dancing videos, dog videos on TikTok an hour before bed. Try to limit that screen time, right? Keep your phone away, maybe downstairs, whatever. Get an alarm from Amazon. I know a lot of bros are like, yo, bro, I use my phone as my alarm. Yo, just get an Amazon, $20, and your sleep is going to get better, and your gym performance is going to get better, and your Preeti is going to get impressed, right? So get that, make that one switch of no screen time before bedtime. And then another thing you can do is maybe read a book. Read a chill book though, right? You don't want to read like a aggressive book. Like I remember reading some book about like Nazis and stuff. I got a little rowdy and I couldn't sleep and shit. So make sure you sleep some, use some relaxing books to read. Maybe put some good stuff in your head. You can do some journaling, maybe visualization, or maybe you talk to a loved one or your partner, whatever it is. Play with your dog, whatever it is. Something that relaxes you, makes you forget for the rest of the day. And then a couple of things you can do in the morning to make your sleep better. Maybe try getting some sunlight, right? Right, first thing in the morning, maybe instead of chugging caffeine, maybe go outside, get a little walk in, get some fresh air in. You'll notice your sleep at night is better. Couple things also that studies show is like meditation, calming the mind in the morning keeps you set for the rest of the day. And that can also improve your sleep at nighttime. And lastly, be actually tired. If you're not tired during the day, it doesn't matter how much you're trying to sleep, you're not going to actually fall asleep properly, right? So being physically tired goes a long way to actually getting good sleep. So maybe getting cardio sessions in, all that good stuff. So please, guys, quick summary. Number 1, have a structured workout. Number 2, progressive stimulus in the gym. Number 3, your nutrition, calorie intake, food choices. Number 4, sleep. If you combine those 4 things together, I'm telling you, you're going to impress Preeti, you're going to impress fucking Jaspreet, you're going to impress everyone, right? Because you're going to get so jacked, arms are finally going to be hugging the sleeves, and you're going to not be small anymore. And lastly, I want to extend you the invitation to reach out if you need some, personalized help with nutrition training, all that good stuff. Or if you just want to join an environment with jacked bros, you can join the Trying to Get Jacked community. Check the app out, check the website out, or just, hit me up. Either way, we're here for questions. If you guys want to see any other videos, make sure you subscribe, comment, let me know, DM me on Instagram, Ronathan. Any questions, always happy to help, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed, and let's get jacked.